for now. Great. We will send out this recording tomorrow with a recap. And then we're also going to send out, there's one more guide that we're tweaking here, and that's going to be coming out with this webinar recording, as well as these 3 guides you see here. And then also we'll have some specials and some discounts for you. So make sure you tune in to the whole, either tuning in tonight or follow up and check out your recap newsletter or recap email. This is going to come out to you. And this is really going to have some great information about you, about how to continue the digestive healing process. Okay, so if you have any questions, what you can do during the webinars, you can just kind of like put them in the chat, and I'll either answer them while I'm going along if I have a little break in between my sentences, right? Or you can also put them, you'll see a Q&A section there. So you can also put it there. I like to keep a flow going. So if the question is relevant, sometimes I'll answer it, or sometimes I'll save all the questions till the end, and we'll have a great Q&A session at the end. Okay. All right. So let's see here. I'm going to get us started. For those of you that are just joining in, you'll see some handouts that I posted over on the side. And I'm going to be going over those with you as well this evening. And you're also going to get an amazing recap handout with all the wonderful information that you're going to receive during this workshop. Tomorrow, it's going to come out in your recap as well as this recording. So if you're tuning in or you missed out on the live, don't worry. You can tune in later, or you can also tune in and watch it again, because there's going to be lots of information. Okay, I'm going to share my screen in just a moment. Okay. Okay, perfect. All right. Okay, you can see the screen. If there's any problems with seeing the screen, you can let me know in the chat as well, and I'll keep an eye on it. Like I said, put it over here to the side. All right, great. Okay, so tonight we're going to be talking all about finding hormonal harmony, right? And I love this picture here on the left of this woman with her hands in this wonderful like blessing prayer position, right? Just really bringing them that place of grounding. And we're going to be talking all about emotions when it comes to the gut here this evening. So how the emotions come into play and overcoming digestive imbalance. Whoops. So a little bit about me. So I am Dr. Lulu Shimmick, and if you're new to following me or tuning into my live webinars that I have once a month, welcome. My goal is really to empower you with the knowledge of your health. So that's what these free webinars are. And I'm also I'm so excited to announce that I'm also doing live workshops now in Asheville for back after COVID. I've started to doing some live workshops. And I make sure that you're signing up for those. And also some of those will be taped if I have that facility available. So you can also tune in live for those. And of course, I have lots of other great things I'll be talking about at the end today. Really amazing programs and workshops to help you feel the best. So I'm a naturopathic physician and functional medicine practitioner. I'm an author of my own book, and I'm a botanical formulator. I love to work with herbs as a way to really help patients to understand their body and use the simple herbs to help elevate their health. I specialize in helping women regain hormonal balance and vitality by discovering the root cause of what the dysfunction is, what's really going on in the body, what's going on. Can we figure it out together, right? That's how I help patients. So it empowers you. And today we're going to be talking all about hormonal harmony and gut health. And if you're interested in improving your gut health, but you don't know how to get started, this workshop is for you, right? This is really going to tie into the emotional component, some of the pieces around dysbiosis, some simple tools you can use today to help get your gut back on track. So grab a notebook and a pen and let's dive in. Okay. So stepping into this transformation of the gut and emotion is really big and really brave, because if we think about, a way that I often think about the gut is everything is tied to the gut, right? Every emotion that we have, every thought, because it's the gut brain connection, begins in the gut. And so when our gut is out of balance, whether that's from worrying or stress, anxiety, chronic pain, all of that can cause dysbiosis in the gut. So fixing your gut is one thing, and that's quote unquote fixing, right? I'm not about like fixing, right? But it's about like really establishing balance. But when we add that emotional component, it's a whole other story, right? So not only do we have to address the body in its physical component, but also the emotional component, bringing in all sides of the story. And I'm not saying this to scare you right now, right? When we're getting started on healing the gut, I'm saying this to empower you to know that there is that emotional component. And if in addressing the emotional piece of your health is difficult for you, whether that's in the past or the present, now's the time to come forward and look at like, well, if I'm having a bad day, am I stressed out? Does my gut like really take the brunt of the whole emotional piece? How do I look at that? How can I start changing my day, whether that's through meditation, breathing, stress release, right? As a way to empower yourself to really have a great gut. Okay, so emotions haven't always been a big dinner table topic, right? These are kind of the things we put off to the side, like a nice dessert, right? Emotions are never to be quote unquote talked about, but we're moving into like this is 2023. People are starting to wear their emotions more on their sleeves, right? Really feeling that they can embrace their emotions, really feeling like their emotions are a place where they feel more comfortable expressing themselves. And this is a time to really think about how your emotional body connects to your gut body, your physical body. And it's really time to think about, are you honest with expressing your feelings to yourself, right? Not only to yourself, of course, but to others. But it's how we express our emotions to ourselves, really connect in with that personal feeling within ourselves about how we're doing. That's how we have a healthy and happy gut. So that's what is empowering, right? When we recognize the piece of our emotional health. How is that relating to our gut, and how is our gut responding to health? Okay, and I know you're all here tonight because it's time to get down to business, right? And do whatever it needs to be done with these emotions. So you can really quote unquote fix your gut for good, right? And we always have these ups and downs through life, and that's going to be part of everything when it comes to your gut. And that's life. You want to have the basis of the yin and the yang and that relationship to the gut. So don't worry, we're going to get into all the details tonight. And you're going to learn right now that it's once your emotions really start to become tangible and easily accessible for you, you're going to have so much more ease in your gut, have a healthy gut. Okay, now let's talk about all that gut stuff, right? Okay, first I want to talk about a term called dysbiosis. Now, this might be a term that you're familiar with, or this might be new to you. So dysbiosis is when the bacteria, so our gut is filled with all kinds of bacteria. Right? We have good bacteria, bad bacteria. When these bacteria become imbalanced, which this leads to a range of digestive symptoms, which I'm going to talk about. And this can be included to bloating, diarrhea, constipation, cramps. There's a lot of different symptoms that can happen when that gut bacteria becomes imbalanced. So that's a big list of factors, and lots of things can contribute to dysbiosis. So that could be infection, whether that is a gut infection or another infection in the body. It could be trauma, a physical trauma or an emotional trauma, a chronic illness like celiac disease, for instance. It could be aging. Antibiotics and other medications, which can really wreak havoc on the gut, alcohol, poor diet, stress. There's a lot of things that are going on in our life. The epigenetic factors as well. These are all contributing to how our gut responds and works on a daily basis. And this is what I'm going to be talking about tonight in this emotional gut fix. So let's talk about imbalances, right? So an unbalanced gut or imbalanced gut. So as I mentioned on the previous slide, dysbiosis is when these gut bacteria, so we have all this bacteria in our gut, always working together, right? Trying to create this symbiotic relationship, this homeostasis. And when we go, we're going to dive deeper now into what those imbalances might be and how they can affect your body. And I love this little picture here on the slide, right? Oops, sorry. Sensitive. That's the large intestine and the small intestine, right? And that's what I'm really talking about today. But our digestive system covers other organs too, right? We have the stomach, we have the liver, the gallbladder, the pancreas, the spleen, and the all those organs, right? The spleen isn't as much as the digestive piece, but we have a lot of organs when it comes to digestive. But I'm really focusing a lot today on the large intestine and the small intestine. Okay, I'm going to dive deeper now into some of the categories of dysbiosis, that dysfunction in the gut. So these are some symptoms that you might be experiencing now. Gas and bloating, super common. So during the normal digestion process, right, gas is normally produced, right? Every one of us, our body normally produces gas, although there are times that this gas is produced from bad strains of gut bacteria. This is usually when your gas is going to be painful. It gets trapped in the gut in these pockets in the gut, and it causes pain, abdominal pain. Also, sometimes it can be stinky gas, I guess is a good way to describe it, because it's trapped in the system and kind of like festering in the digestive system. So that can cause really painful bloating and gas. And it's usually very noticeable, right? You're like, oh, my pants are kind of tight today. What did I eat yesterday? Or was I really stressed out, right? A digestive journal, a food journal, can be really helpful for identifying those things. So diarrhea, this is another one, and this is going to be diarrhea and constipation, this next one. These can be all about the IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. These are common with that. So diarrhea can happen every now and then, right? Or if you're prone to it, maybe this is one of your things like, oh yeah, this is something for me. And when it becomes common, that's when you have to ask yourself like, is this quote unquote normal? What's going on in my gut? What's happening in there? So if you're experiencing regular diarrhea, this can be a sign of bacterial overgrowth, right? Too much bad bacteria in the system, that dysbiosis. So it can be really challenging to live with, right? Getting stuck at home, not wanting to leave the house, not wanting to have dates with your friends or going out because you don't want to have to run to the bathroom every moment, like, excuse me, or you got to pull over to the side of the road and find the nearest bush, right? Not like a fun way to be experiencing things. And so excessive diarrhea can really lead to worse gut health by it pushing out the good bacteria that are left in the gut. So we want to focus now on constipation. And like I said, these are the players together, constipation and diarrhea. You're going to see them kind of interacting back and forth. So studies have really shown this connected functional constipation with irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, really. And that's connected to gut imbalance. And it's also been found that people who suffer from constipation, they typically have lower levels of certain types of bacteria. And you can find this out with a gut panel. You can run that specific panel with me, doing a digestive panel to see which type of bacteria are overgrown in your digestive system. Maybe you have some infectious organisms. Maybe you have some parasites. This is a good thing to run. This is one of the things I always recommend, is doing a gut panel to really understand what's going on inside the gut. Loss of focus and concentration. This is the gut-brain connection that I was talking about. So this has been a thing that's been widely studied and researched. And research has shown that when gut dysbiosis, so that gut dysfunction is present, It has been known to affect learning and memory, right? So if you're like, man, I'm just having a lot of brain fog, that's when we want to look at the gut. There of course can be other factors, hormonal factors, adrenal component, adrenal fatigue, hormonal for sure. So working or moving into perimenopause or menopause. And the reason for this is that the gut itself produces neurotransmitters. So this is the gut-brain connection. And these are connected to concentration and other cognitive abilities, as well as mood and thoughts. So the gut is a huge component of how our brain processes, how our brain thinks, how our brain communicates, right, with the rest of the body. The other one here is skin conditions and inflammation. Our skin is a reflection of everything that goes on inside the gut, as well as inflammation. So an unhealthy gut can trigger skin conditions and inflammation. And the bacteria that's in your gut directly influences the bacteria in your skin. Okay. So this can cause eczema, psoriasis, acne, dermatitis, and other skin symptoms when there is a gut imbalance. Okay, here are some more of these things. Look how many of these things that are related to gut. I'm always fascinated, even though I know all these, right? I'm fascinated. Every time I see them, I'm like, oh, yes, I remember, like, oh my gosh, look at all these things that are connected to that. Chronic fatigue. This is adrenal fatigue. Rest really can't improve this type of fatigue because sleep may make you even more tired. And what can improve it is healing your gut, going to the gut, going to the root cause, reducing your stress levels. And studies, this has also been highly researched, studies have found a difference in gut bacteria for those who have chronic fatigue compared to those who do not. So again, I always run a gut zoomer panel or gut digestive panel in combination with doing an adrenal panel with cortisol, because when patients are complaining a lot about chronic fatigue, this is a place we want to investigate, right? Like, what's going on in the system? Is it coming from the gut? Is it coming from the hormones? And we want to check that out. Number 2 on this slide is weight gain, a huge component of gut dysbiosis. It's not the only reason for weight gain. There can be several factors, but it can absolutely contribute to weight gain because there's certain bacteria in the gut that break down food and affect absorption. So that can be a factor. If you're not breaking down your food properly, it's going to stay in the system longer. It's not going to be absorbed in a proper way. You're not going to get the proper nutrients, the protein, the fat, the vitamins, the macronutrients from the food. Sugar cravings. Oh my gosh. Sugar, bacteria love sugar. They feed on it. I don't know if you've ever made like bread, for instance. Yeast loves sugar, right? So does kombucha. That's how you make kombucha. And so sugar feeds bacteria that you don't want to grow, but these little bacteria know exactly how to work you. They're sneaky and they keep urging you to feed them more. You get this food craving. Oh, just feed me a little more sugar, please. All those neurotransmitters communicating to the brain, feed me, more sugar, right? And if you have these sugar cravings knocking, it's a really huge sign of gut imbalance. And I always see this connected a lot with diabetics or pre-diabetics. And this is a really important place to look at how your body is responding to food, getting some basic blood work done and checking that out. Autoimmune diseases. So when your gut is healthy, so is your immune system. We have the immune system of the gut called GALT, G-A-L-T. And so the immune system of the gut is very important. We have bacteria that lives in our gut that is our immune system of the gut, that microbiome. And when there's an imbalance there, it can lead to autoimmune diseases, such as type 1 diabetes, I just mentioned, a celiac disease. This is when you have gluten intolerance at a much higher level. Hashimoto's, that's the autoimmune disease of the thyroid, and rheumatoid arthritis. This is inflammation of the joints, autoimmune disease, and many others. So currently there's 80 autoimmune diseases that we know about, which is a lot, right? And if we think that, oh, let's go back and heal the gut, that's a huge component about how we can get that autoimmune disease back on track, right? Really help to reduce symptoms and then work on healing it at that root cause level. Okay, mood disorders. Now, I mentioned earlier about neurotransmitters, that gut-brain connection. When we have gut dysbiosis, we can also see imbalances in mood. Anxiety and depression are a huge piece. So your gut microbiome plays an essential role in your mental health and how you respond to stress. So hormones that are made in the gut control the conversations, right? They're always talking back and forth between gut and the brain, gut and the brain, gut and the brain. And if you lose that hormone loses balance, then they're sure to boost anxiety levels and affect other mood disorders. So it's important to kind of like do a check through of your body, right? And all these things I just mentioned, maybe when you're mentally checking, or maybe you're writing down things in your little notebook as you're taking notes tonight, like, oh yeah, Dr. Lulu mentioned chronic fatigue, check. Sugar cravings, check. Mood disorders, check. Like, okay, yeah, I got some things going on here I need to address. Okay, let's talk about dysbiosis of the mind, the body, and the soul, right? So I love this piece of our conversation tonight. So, how do all those things that I just talked about really relate to what we're talking about in the emotional gut fix, about really addressing the emotional level? So, the gut is your second brain. You might have heard that before out there. So, what this means is that whatever happens in the gut, everything that happens in the gut affects every other area of our body. It's our second brain. So it's communicating with every other piece of our body. And that's something that I don't think people think about. Like, oh, yeah, everything I eat and digesting, it's communicating to the rest of my body. Woo, that's big stuff, right? That's huge. So our gut is a big component, and the brain and the gut control everything in our body, including all the things happening in the mind, body, and soul. So they intermingle so closely that anything happening in the gut can influence the mind. That's so huge. And anything happening in the mind can then influence the gut. All right. So think about that. Everything that's happening in the gut is influencing the mind and vice versa. So we're going to discuss this a little bit further on. We're going to dive deeper into it. How do we get these two parts of the body to work together, right? In flow, in conjunction with each other, in homeostasis. They have to love each other, right? They have to work together. They have to live in peace and harmony. Because without that, we're going to see disease in the gut, disease in the body. Okay, so Annie Jo has a question here. If your weight goes up and down a lot, what would that be a sign of? That's definitely a sign of dysbiosis. That is the bacteria in the gut, overgrowth in the gut. And we can see what that is like with a gut digestive panel to see what bacteria is out of balance in the gut. If you have a big history of using a lot of antibiotics, that can cause dysbiosis in the gut. So when we see a lot of fluctuation up and down all over the scale, that's a real sign, as well as dysbiosis happening in the gut. I hope that answered that question, Andy Jo. Okay, the gut microbiome. You might have heard that fabulous term before, the microbiome, right? So science and geeky, but it's true and I love it. So the gut microbiome refers to the bacteria, both good and bad, like I mentioned, that live in the gastrointestinal system. So these microbes, microbe is another fancy word for bacteria. These microbes or bacteria are essential, not only for proper gut function, but for the health of the whole body, like I mentioned, immune system, endocrine system, and the brain. So, I want you to start like thinking about today that everything that you're doing, everything you're eating is impacting every piece of your gut. Mood. Okay. So your gut microbiome has a significant influence over your mental health and how you respond to stress. Okay. So it's not just how stress is coming in and impacting you, but how your body is responding to the stress, right? And so although the exact mechanism is not quite apparent, right? We're still kind of learning exactly how that happens, but it's really all about that connection between the brain and the gut. It's well known that the gut microbiome affects moods and cognitive function. For instance, okay, so certain gut bacteria assist with the production of serotonin. This is our neurotransmitter in the gut. It's our feel good neurotransmitter. So that's what I was mentioning before about that anxiety and depression piece. it can be highly correlated with the gut. And other bacteria can also affect brain health by controlling feedback loops that get relayed to the brain. So mood is a huge component of gut health. Hormones, right? Definitely connected. Look at this cool slide here. I love this picture of the all the pieces of the cells interacting together, right? So your gut health plays an important role in the functioning of your endocrine system. So your endocrine system is a larger part of your body. It can that is the glands of the body. So like the thyroid gland, for instance, is a part of your endocrine system. Your gut bacteria signal the hormone releasing glands in your body to release the required number of hormones in your bloodstream. Okay, so if your body is communicating all the time about specific hormones to be released, when there is dysbiosis in the gut, that communication breaks down. So you can think of it like the telephone game, right? Like a phone call comes into your gut from the brain. Hey, gut, I need you to do this, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And so then the gut gets that message, and then it's going to have this communication that's going to go back out to the body, telling the body what to do, or communicating back to the brain. But if there's a lot of dysbiosis in the gut, that communication becomes, frayed as it's communicating back with the hormones to other aspects of the body and the brain, and that message becomes distorted, right? So that is a huge piece of that gut dysfunction. So gut bacteria also directly influence key hormones. Estrogen is a huge piece. When we see estrogen in a dominant stage or a negative stage, right, an imbalance of estrogen, we always want to look at the gut. Also, other hormones, progesterone and testosterone, not as much, but yes, they're key. And then cortisol, our stress hormone, and melatonin, our sleep hormone. So if you're having a lot of stress, it can affect the gut can be affected. Also, if you're having sleep disorders like insomnia, can be hugely affected as well. Okay, the stress and gut connection. I think this is one of the major pieces. Well, there's so many major pieces of the puzzle, but stress is definitely a huge component. Okay, so here are the possible things that can happen to your gut when you're under chronic stress. So one, you break down your gut lining. Okay, so your gut, if you can see the picture of me, look at me on the screen. Okay, so your gut, remember I showed you the picture of the large intestine before, right? Okay, that kind of like upside down U shape. So inside the large intestine, we have these pockets, they're called haustra. And we have also they're called gap junctions, is where the cells come together and they make these tight gap junctions. So when there's dysbiosis due to stress, so that overgrowth of bacteria, what happens is these junctions become looser. They kind of spread apart a little bit, and then things leak down through those gap junctions into the bloodstream. So that breaks down that gut lining. So things are leaking out into the bloodstream that shouldn't be there. And that causes inflammation and all kinds of other havoc in the body, especially inflammation. So when that happens, bacteria, food, and other toxins enter the GI tract, and your body says, whoa, these are not supposed to be there. And it sends the immune cells to attack those particular particles that are in the blood. So that causes an increase of inflammation in the system. And then again, in the bloodstream, these are dangerous, right? Our body does not want these in the bloodstream. And the other piece is it causes a food sensitivity. So what happens is your body sends immune cells to those particles that have then gone through, they've leaked through that junction into the bloodstream, and the body says, oh, wait, there's a particle in the bloodstream. Let's say, for instance, it was dairy, like a cow particle. To be like a milk particle is better way to describe that. A milk protein has leaked into the bloodstream. And so the immune cells attack. So that causes food sensitivity, because every time your body, it can't really recognize the difference then when it sees it in the gut and the bloodstream. So then it can cause a lot of food sensitivity reactions. So I also recommend, if you're having a lot of gut dysbiosis or gut problems, to do a food sensitivity panel to see what foods you might be having sensitivity to. This can give you a lot of insight. Okay, how do emotions impact the gut, right? What is that piece, right? How do they impact gut disease specifically? So after understanding all that we've gone over already, right? There's no doubt that your emotions can impact disease, right? You've seen that. You're like, okay, Dr. Lulu, I'm definitely getting the emotional picture here. Your thoughts lead to your feelings, which lead to your actions, which lead to your results, right? So in short, your emotions lead to disease. Da-da! That should be your big light bulb with this talk this evening. And if you're thinking that something is really not good, that will drive you to feel a certain way, right? Not good. So that will make you act a certain way. And that's probably not good either. And that action will lead to some result, which most likely will not be a good one. And if the original thought was negative, right? So negative emotions feed more negative emotions, which feeds gut dysbiosis, which then feeds disease in the body. So see where we're going here? So it is this big wheel that keeps going around and around and around. It keeps your mind in that really negative place, right? Negative thoughts create more negative thoughts, which create more negative thoughts, but also positive thoughts. Positive thoughts create more positive thoughts, which create more positive thoughts. So as I mentioned at the beginning, the gut is your second brain. So if you're having negative thoughts, that's going to affect your gut. It's going to affect your entire body because that brain is sending out signals to the rest of the body. So like we've said already, if the gut is out of balance, there's going to be likely some disease down the road, and emotions are going to always affect the gut. Let's take a nice deep breath in. Look at that wonderful person meditating, beautiful woman, goddess meditating in the grass, right? Peace. Emotions can totally affect our gut, right? Stress, sadness, worry, fear, anger, happiness, surprise, right? All the emotions, the good and the bad, they all have a little piece to play when it comes to your gut. So emotions are energy in motion. Everything is moving, right? When we have an emotion, it is a vibration. It's how our body responds to everything around us and then creates a response. Energy moves through the body. It's creating this wave of emotion. And whenever, like, for instance, have you ever gotten like really angry, like after eating a meal, whether it's like, or maybe even while you're eating because of a fight with a family member, or maybe at the restaurant or something someone did, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, my stomach hurts, right? That is the emotional piece that that food is having this, like, is being like, oh, like crunched up in your stomach. So think about that the next time you're about to start a little argument at the dinner table, right? You're like, oh, my gut is not going to be happy with that. So this is great, right? But how do we handle stress then without affecting your body? We can't really like live in this this huge emotional bubble, right? We will experience them, but then the question is, how do we meet them head on? How do we then process those? So I'm sure by now you're thinking like, I need to stop stressing, stop stressing. But how in the world is that even possible? Stress just doesn't go away. It's going to be out there, but it's really how we meet the day, each day, with that groundedness, that relaxed place. So if you're still living in the human world and stress is a part of it, then, you know, it's like, that's going to be something we just have to learn to manage, not just even handle, but manage. So I'm going to talk about some exercises that can help with that, but that can really help you live that normal life, but in a place of relaxation. So that your gut is really, forming and focusing and handling things in a much better way. So my top recommendations to handle stress is to not react to stressful situations, right? To be the guru, to be Yoda, if you watch Star Wars, right? To be the Zen. Like, think before you react, like, instead of the first thing that comes out of your mouth, how can you react? Like, take a breath, right? Before you react, breathe into it. Like, okay, I'm just going to take a breath before I respond to that person that's being like a total jerk over there. Like, how can I respond to that in a different way? Calm my body down before I have a reaction. So there's also some great essential oils that can help. I use the doTERRA oils, which I love, but which is some of them you'll see here, but there's also you can use a different brand if you like, but essential oils are great. So wild orange is a wonderful, lavender, copaiba, spearmint, neroli, sweet gum. These are all wonderful ones that can help with that relaxation piece. Also, a lemon balm is a wonderful one. Any of these stress reducing, and I'll also send out, I'm going to make a note right now, my emotional oils guide for you. We'll send that out in the recap too. And then you'll be able to see some great specific essential oils that can help with emotional states of stress. So all that emotional stuff, right? So let's talk specifically about emotions now. So emotions, we have our self-worth. This is when we feel less than, right? This puts stress on us that can tear us apart, right? It's a feeling that runs through your mind every day, all day, right? That's self-worth. So these are some great statements that I think would be wonderful for you to write down, like on a little sticky note, put on your fridge, right? Or you can have them on your phone, right? I am worthy. I'm worthy of love. I'm worthy of respect. I'm worthy of anything I want and need. So pick one of these that resonates with you, and maybe all of them, maybe like, okay, today I'm going to practice I'm worthy. I find it very helpful to set an alarm on my phone, like, okay, every hour, right? This can be something that can be helpful for you. And then every hour when that alarm goes off, you're like, okay, I'm worthy, right? Okay. Or maybe you're like, I'm worthy of anything I want and need, right? So these are some great ones for self-worth. Self-confidence. Look at that cute little large intestine in that picture. He's so happy. He's like, yeah, thumbs up. I got this. Check. So lack of self-confidence can be very stressful. Like whether that's at work, family members, friends, feeling like you're not as good as something can put a lot of stress on a person, right? And that's you. You're that self-confidence piece, that self-worth. This can really hold you back from doing many things that you love in life. So some things to get your self-confidence back: make a list of all the things you're not confident about, right? And then find a reason to do the opposite. So example, if you're not confident in parenting, you could say, think of some reasons that you are a good parent, right? So make a list or a piece of paper, one side, all the things you're not confident, and then make an opposite statement about those. And remind yourself that you're good at these things every day. Empowerment. That's his little stomach there. He's cute. He's got his little, I'm empowered. And when you feel empowered, you feel good, right? That's that third chakra, that power center, all in the stomach. This could be anything about your life. When you're living without any feeling of empowerment, it can feel like someone else is running your life, and that can be stressful. Like you have no control. Empowerment is something every person must have in one way or another. So have you ever felt empowered? What gave you that feeling, right? Tune into that. How can you get that empowerment back if you've lost it? Do you feel stressed when you don't feel empowered? How does it make you feel? What makes you feel empowered? And how can you regain that empowerment? So these are great questions to do if you do journaling, which I highly recommend. These can be great ones to work through in your journal. Okay, let's talk about fight or flight, the sympathetic nervous system. So this might be a common phrase that you're familiar with. So fight or flight is that running from the bear, right? We're running from the lion. We're in that fight or flight mode. So when you're in that place, it's great to first acknowledge it, right? That you feel threatened or stressed, and that your fight or flight response has been activated. So then you want to take notice of how your body is reacting. And once you realize that your body is in that fight or flight mode, the goal is to calm down. Take a deep breath, regain control of the situation, right? Calm down and remind yourself this is an automatic response that you've not chosen. This is the fight or flight response. Flight or flight response. This is your body's response, right, to not feeling safe. Logical, right? So to prevent these attacks from happening, you want to review past times that you've gone into that flight or fight mode and take notice of when that has happened. And then prepare yourself, right, with deep breathing exercises, essential oils, or supplements to help you to be in a calm place. Okay, trauma. This is a huge one. Trauma can live with you forever if you allow it, right? I'm not saying it's easy to deal with. Trauma can be extremely challenging, but you want to really learn how to deal with it. And you want to identify those emotions that are making you, or you're reliving that trauma, right, in a daily basis. So once you notice what the sensation is about, like racing heart, right, muscle tension, think about these things, right? And how does your body then reduce those sensations? And breath work is 100% hands down a great way to reduce these trauma responses in the body. So a really wonderful practice is inhaling for a count of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 on that inhale, and then exhale for a count of 4. And they're repeating that a few times until that heart rate is really slowed down. So when you feel that place of trauma, that response, whether that's, a lot of times people have that rapid heart rate, like, oh my gosh, my heart rate just increased. What's going on? Then start that breath work right away. Okay, inner critic is a huge one when it comes to gut dysfunction. So most of us have some kind of little inner critic inside of us, right? And not everybody does, but something about putting us down. And we have to learn to put that inner critic like up on the shelf, right? So what can we do about the inner critic? So here are some of my great tips here. So develop an awareness of your thoughts. That's number one, like tuning in to what those thoughts mean and really being able to connect with them. And then from the inner critic, like, what is there evidence to support that thought? Right? Like, well, that's not really true. That's not actually not me. That's just my ego speaking. That's not how I function through life. I am a different person than that, right? We have to rewire the brain. We have to break that tape loop. So swap out some of those nasty thoughts with positive, accurate thoughts. Reminding yourself of the true and accurate statements every time that nasty thought comes up. Okay. So you're going throughout your day and you are just going along, maybe something you aren't 100% aware of, right? Activates this inner critic, right? Maybe the same trauma, something activates that trauma. And these negative thoughts start to go through your system, like, oh, I'm not good enough to do that. I can't do that. Maybe when it comes to health, I'm never going to feel well. I always have this pain. I'm always in pain. It's never going to go away. How am I ever going to make it till tomorrow, right? What are those negative thoughts, right? So when those negative thoughts come up, then we have to reinstate those as a positive thought tape loop, right? My body is healthy. My mind is healthy. I love my body. I love my mind, right? Coming through with all of these positive thoughts. Perfectionism. This is a huge one when it comes to gut health. So perfectionism can steal your joy and peace and self-esteem. Okay. So I want you to, again, using a lot when it comes to the journal this evening, make a list of all the ways that perfectionism is hurting you and those around you, right? You're like, I have to have this exactly perfect, right? I have to do every piece of it will become perfect before I can XYZ, right? Is that really how you need to function through that particular task, right? Could you be like, I could do 50% of that and I could still work fine, right? Focus on the positive rather than looking at what is not good enough. So taking this back to the inner critic, you need to change that little voice, right? That tape loop again. How can you change that loop, that tape loop, that positive voice into a positive message, right? And so when we have that tape loop become a good enough, I am good enough. I am worthy. I'm worthy of everything in the universe provides with me, right? My gut health is excellent. My gut bacteria are functioning fully and they do the job that they are asked to do. They communicate with the brain, right? All these positive thoughts. Okay, gut imbalances and taking charge of your life. So to take charge of life, you must change your thought process. That's really a lot of what I'm talking about, right? So again, what do you need to do, right? We have to release the pattern of the old thought processes or process, right? So you want to go through all those sections that I kind of already went through, and you'll have this in the guide. Ensure that you focus on each of these that really pertain to you. Read through like, yeah, okay, that was something, maybe you're the self-critic. Okay, yeah, I need to work on the self-critic. So you're like, okay, write that down, check. And then go through and like, okay, well, how I'm going to make again, I'm going to make 2 columns, right? Okay, like one side, self-critic, how do I criticize myself? And then on the positive side, you could say like, well, what are some things that I'm really good at, right? So you can see like, okay, that way you can create those 2 columns, right? And so each of these, you can go through and do all of those things you wanted that we went through tonight, or you could go back and do one specific thing. Don't do them all at once, but take one at a time. So in addition to rereading each of those sections, then you can focus on the worthiness, right? That self-worth of staying in your life and really focusing. Maybe it was the de-stressing piece. Maybe that's huge for you. You're like, okay, yeah, I definitely need to de-stress. And that's true with a lot of people. Stress is a huge component, myself included. I'm working all the time on ways that I can de-stress, knowing all the pieces in my toolbox that one, activate me, trigger me to be stressed. And then what can I do to help myself relax? Yoga, meditation, good food, going for a walk, going for a run, talking with a friend, walking my friend's dog, being in nature, sitting outside in the sun, right? What are your places you go to feel good, to help de-stress? Okay, are you already starting to feel better? Yes, I know you are. The more you go through all these emotions, the better you'll feel, the better your digestion will feel. And this is not the end, right? You can go through each of these areas over and over again as you feel more work needs to be done. So it's not really like, it's now up to you, right? To make the choices. I'm here to support you, right? I'm here to help you, one, realize maybe areas that might be triggering you in all those emotional components that I mentioned. And then how do you want to work on these pieces of the gut physically and emotionally? Okay. And so cheers, ding, ding, to feeling amazing from here on out. Okay, your way to a healthy gut. So I put some things in this slide presentation here about healthy gut plan. So this is how, if you've been having a lot of dysbiosis in the gut, this is some areas that you can target to help restore the gut. So one, you want to regain control, addressing, and that could be doing some of that gut component with the gut testing or hormone testing in the beginning, seeing if there's seeing if there is bacterial overgrowth. Are there parasites? Are there candida, yeast overgrowth? Are you having stress and adrenal fatigue? Maybe you're having all of those, right? Addressing that. So one, regain control. This is the 4 R's of healthy gut. 2, we want to rest, calm inflammation of the gut, support and simplify digestion. That could be spacing out your meals, eating good food, doing stress reduction techniques. Number 3 is repair. So restoring the intestinal wall, helping those gap junctions to become tight again. And then 4 is reinforcing. So using proper foods for gut health, stress management, probiotics, and enzymes. So step 1, again, bacterial overgrowth, parasites, candida, and stress and adrenal fatigue. Regaining control. Like I said, maybe you're just one of these components. Maybe you're all 4 of these components. If you don't know, then testing is highly recommended. You can connect with me about that. Step 2, now you might have SIBO or SIFO, bacterial imbalance. So you could do a test for this. So that's small intestinal bacterial overgrowth or small intestinal fungal overgrowth. And this is when you have an abnormal amount of bacteria in the small intestine or an abnormal amount of fungus. And that's an example of dysbiosis, and most often that leads to leaky gut or other imbalances. And the only way to see if you have SIBO or SIFO is to do a test for that. That's a hydrogen breath test. Parasites are Most all of us have parasites. It's now estimated that 50% of Americans have parasites. They're just, they're organisms, they're parasites. So I always recommend testing. Also, if you suspect, and then doing a parasite cleanse, you can check with me about that. Parasites are living organisms that live off the host. That's what they do. There's thousands of types of parasites. And here are the common symptoms that they cause: diarrhea, gas, bloating, flu-like symptoms, nausea, rashes, joint pain, chronic fatigue, chronic sinusitis. So those are similar to a lot of the dysbiosis things that we talked about earlier, right? That's why testing is so important. We want to test, not guess, when it comes to the gut. So parasites can cause problems when the health of the host is compromised. So parasites can live with us in, we don't always want them there, but they can live there. But then our body, when it's in a good immune state, right, it's able to fight off those parasites. But when we're in a bad state of health, we aren't able to fight off those very well. Candida, so this is the fungus piece. Candida, common, this is a excess of yeast or gut fungus, and that causes an environmental imbalance in the gut. So common symptoms of Candida can be bloating, rash, fatigue, brain fog, mood swings, sugar cravings. Most famously is yeast infection. So if you have been having a lot of yeast infections, this is probably a trigger for you here. Adrenal fatigue, this is a huge one. This is one that I myself experienced in the past, and I'm always, saying like, okay, am I going through it again? Oops, I apologize there. So adrenal fatigue is a result of a malfunction of the adrenal glands that causes low cortisol levels. So cortisol, again, is that fight or flight stress response hormone, and that's a portion of our nervous system, right? Okay, so this directly then opposes the parasympathetic system, resting and digesting. It puts us into a fight or flight response. And this can lead to chronic stress, chronic inflammation, and then leaky gut. So any stress can result in leaky gut, but adrenal fatigue is the most common one. Okay, so step 2, we want to rest, right? Remember, calm the inflammation, simplify digestion. And step 3, repair, avoiding triggers. And what I mean by that is specific food intolerances, whether that's dairy or gluten or corn or sugar. What are your triggers? Butyric acid, this can be a repairing agent. L-glutamine, this is a supplement that helps the gap junctions to be tight. Licorice root, this is another one that can really help soften the mucosal lining of the gut, and collagen and bone broth. So those are some great ones for repair. And then reinforcing, right? Step 4, reinforcing this healing phase. So looking at your diet and lifestyle, what kind of foods you're eating, what is your stress component? What's your stress management? How are you handling stress around you? Taking enzymes and probiotics is a huge one for helping with gut health. And then reducing toxins, reducing your toxic load. Okay, and then the foundation of a healthy gut. Okay, so these are things specifically laying that foundation. So eating clean, organic, and natural as much as possible, avoiding foods that are hard on the digestion and foods that disrupt microflora. Reducing toxins. So personal care products, cleaners, fragrances, and perfumes, looking at everything you're using in your household, and is it a natural product or is it filled with toxins which disrupt the microflora and also hormones of the system. Reducing stress. Balancing, aim for a balance of 85% of friendly bacteria and 15% of unfriendly. So that would be from a gut zoomer or gut digestive panel to see that. And again, supplementing with enzymes and probiotics. Okay, so, oops, excuse me. Okay, and Cista is it should say, I don't know why it doesn't say here, but it should say this in summary. So these are all the pieces of helping have a good functioning gut. We talked all about the emotional component, right? So number 1, emotions. Number 2, detox. Avoid toxins in foods and products like cleaners, paint fumes, personal care products, etc. Eat clean, eat organic and clean as much as possible. Detoxify with whole food seasonally, and doing a great like lemon water in the morning, if that's in alignment with you, that's a great one, or vinegar and water. Prebiotics and probiotics, including these are going to help to repopulate that good microbiome. supplement, taking a digestive enzyme supplement, L-glutamine, bone broth, and marshmallow root. These are going to help soothe the digestive tract. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. You got to have water to get the toxins to move through, help your body to heal. De-stress. Have a stress plan in place. Really important to establish a good de-stress routine. Sleep, you got to have 8 hours minimum. If you are dealing with a lot of chronic disease, this could be a higher rate for you, right? Or if you're in a place of adrenal fatigue. If you're having, needing 12 hours, you really want to check in with me, especially like, okay, what's going on? Why am I sleeping these larger amounts of time and continually having like one. If you're prone to this, like this kind of scenario, like you sleep 6 hours, then one day, and then next day 10, it's like you're not sleeping regularly. So you want to make sure you're getting some good sleep hygiene, going to sleep at the same time every night, turning off your electronics, and really establishing the same time you're going to sleep and waking up. That will help. A protection, so avoiding the gut flora killers, caffeine, sugar, alcohol, and toxins. This is an anti-inflammatory lifestyle. And then fiber, you've got to have good fiber to get things moving in the gut. So including fiber in your diet. Okay, awesome. That's a wrap. So we're going to do, the next piece we're going to do is, I'm going to stop my screen. I'm going to do a little meditation. And so let's see. Great. Okay. So it's 6 o'clock. We're going to do a little meditation, just a short one. And then I'll come back and do a nice wrap up. So you're going to see my screen kind of just go to a picture of me, and I'm going to put on some nice music in the background. It's just a short meditation. So if you're in, find a nice comfortable spot right now, so that you can be relaxed. It's not going to be a long meditation, but I want you to really get the place for this and really feel the healing. All right, so I'm gonna stop my video. Let's see. Or no, I'm sorry. I'll just go to this screen here. That way it's still. There we go. Okay, we'll just do that one. Okay. Go. Okay, I'm just pulling up the meditation music. Give me a moment. Okay, let's just take some nice, big, deep breaths, breathing in and breathing out. With the next out breath, just gently closing your eyes and just start to feel the weight of your body. And start to notice the points of contact of your feet on the floor and your hands and your arms just resting on your legs. Maybe noticing any sounds around you. Just bringing the mind into the physical senses. just settling back into the space around you. Now just bring your attention a little bit more towards the body as you scan down from head to toe. Noticing any areas that feel particularly comfortable or uncomfortable. Just building up a picture of how the body feels. And just noticing if there's any particular mood that might be around at the moment. Just noticing your emotions. And now gently shift your focus to the rise and the fall of your breath. Wherever you feel it strongest in the body right now. As you just become increasingly comfortable in following the natural rhythm of your breath. Imagine now a steady flow from above your head. It flows almost like a liquid wave of sunlight. It's very smooth, very warm, it's very clear, and it's very bright. It's almost like taking a mental shower. It flows down through the top of your head, into the body, and travels all the way down to your feet. It fills up the entire body as though it were a container, just melting away any tension and any discomfort. You follow it as it travels down through the body, sliding down towards the feet. You're just feeling it as it fills up the toes, one at a time. Just acknowledging each toe as it goes through, as it starts to travel up through the feet, the heels, the ankles, and continues upwards towards the knees. Just melting away any tension and just focusing on the spaciousness, brightness, and warmth that you feel through each cell of your body. As this warm yellow light continues to move up through the upper half of the leg towards your hips and the pelvic area. The steady flow of light coming into the body, just melting away the tension more and more. Moves through the trunk of your body, through the digestive system, the large intestine, the small intestine, the stomach, the liver, the gallbladder, the low back, moves up towards the diaphragm, just melting away any tension. It continues to flow up now through the chest and the upper back. all the way to the shoulders. It moves down through the arms, towards the elbows, the wrists, and the hands, filling up each finger one at a time. Again, just feeling it as it fills upwards towards the elbows and the shoulders. All tension melts away as it continues to travel now up through the neck and the throat, filling body up with light. All tension melts away. Up through the head, all the muscles in the face relaxed until this light has moved to the very, very top of your body. And even though the entire body now is full of that very spacious, clear feeling, it also continues to flow downwards. Just resting the mind in that space. You can just let go of any focus for a moment. Just allow the mind to rest in that space. Now slowly just start to bring the attention back into your body again. Feeling the weight of your body, physical points of contact, your back against the chair, or if you're laying down, your back against the floor, your feet on the ground. You can wiggle your toes and your fingers. Just start to notice the sounds around you again. The smells. Just bringing yourself back in the space around you. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back to the present. How was that for everyone out there? Feeling relaxed and calm? I know I am. Oh, such a nice, gentle way to bring light into the body and reduce stress, right? Really reduce that peace on the emotional component, right? Bring that peace and calm to the digestion. Okay, let's go back to our slideshow. Where is it? Here it is. Let me go back to where we were. Okay, we were right here. Okay, perfect. All right. So I want to tell you about some exciting things that I have to offer you today to help with your gut health. I have three amazing things. And so I want to talk about those before we finish up today, and I'll take any of your questions then. So this is my Hormone Harmony program. This is my comprehensive wellness program. It is an amazing, opportunity for you to really upgrade your wellness in all levels. So it's a way to improve energy, and we rewire your brain, de-stress by restoring emotional balance, tap into your ultimate resilience, and unlock your DNA. Everyone that's on the call tonight, you have 48 hours for any of these offers. And so you can receive $100 off of the program here. You can either scan it right now. We'll also send out the link. Registering tonight is great because then you make sure you hold your spot there. And you'll receive $100 off of this. And so what this is really going to do, it's going to help you to really tap into your gut from that hormone perspective. It's going to be a complete comprehensive program that's really going to help you make a positive change using biohacking techniques for optimal health and wellness. It's an 8-week program. And here are the things that are going to be covered. So each week we're going to address a specific part of the body that's going to really help you to tap in to really have an amazing life change. So we're going to talk about how to balance your energy with hormones and how to boost your energy and levels naturally. We're going to talk about how to rest and recover, exploring techniques to help you relax and sleep better. We're going to talk about nutrition for balance and for weight loss, and or maybe weight gain, depending on what you need, but really what is right for your body for a healthy weight and supporting your hormonal balance. We're going to talk about DNA and resilience, exploring the secrets of your DNA and learning how to improve your resilience to stress. We're going to talk about brain function, discovering techniques to help you have an engaged brain, really turn on your brain. We're going to talk about emotional balance and recovery, how to manage stress and support your adrenal system, exercise and hormonal imbalance, discovering what exercise is a key for balancing hormones, balancing the gut. How can you come up with an effective exercise plan that is right for you? And also beauty, right? We're going to talk about how to support your natural beauty from the inside out by balancing your hormones and supporting your gut. Oh my God, it's going to be amazing. I'm so excited about it. So during the program, you're going to work closely with me and with other members of the program. We're going to address underlying health issues, and I'm going to help develop a plan to help you address them, to get yourself on track. You're going to receive nutritional guidance, stress management strategies, sleep optimization techniques. Yay. I love helping with sleep. One of my big components when I help patients with is sleep. There's going to be so much more in the program. It's an amazing way for you to really achieve your health goals. Plus, you'll have the added benefit of a community group setting. Group healing is amazing when it takes place in a group setting. That's how we feed off of each other, right? In this, that's not the best expression. It's a really supportive way to ignite and enhance your healing. And then we can share our knowledge together, share our experiences with women on the same health journey. So you're going to be leaving this program feeling more balanced, more harmonious. You're going to learn techniques to help you improve sleep, reduce stress, boost energy levels. It's going to be amazing. You're going to have regular check-ins with me every week about what's going on, and I'm going to help my team and our community going to support you in working towards your goals. Support, whether that's fatigue, weight gain, stress control, right? Gut health. What do you want to work on? This program is for you. So here is the registration. You can also go, I'll show you on the website too. You can go straight there. You can and put in the code HARMONY. That's your coupon code to save $100 off on the program. This program starts on Thursday, the 13th. Okay. Also, if you're new and you want to work with me and you're like, oh my gosh, what you talked about today, Dr. Lulu, is just what I need. I'm giving a 25% discount on a first initial consultation with me, which is 2-hour visits. And you can use the code digest25. I'm going to show you how you can do that too. You can also, there's a link right here. I'll put, excuse me. I can put any of those in the chat as well, if for any of you, if you like that. We'll again be sending these out in the recap. So that's Digest 25. That's going to save 25% off your initial wellness consultation. Maybe you're thinking like, oh yeah, I really need to get my hormones in check. I need to get that digestive panel done. Maybe you just want to do some digestive healing or figure out what's going on, right? I'm here to help you. I'm a hormonal harmony expert. I'm dedicated to helping women achieve optimal health. So during that initial consultation, we're going to dive deep into your health history, your current symptoms, and lifestyle habits to really figure out what's going on, what parts of your life are impacting your overall health and well-being, and figure out how we can together achieve those health goals. So if you're ready to take that first step towards a healthier, happier you, simply click on the link below or link there and to book your initial consultation and take advantage of this limited time offer. It's only for 48 hours. I don't usually give discounts on my initial consultation, so this is a great time to take advantage of that. Okay, also, if you're looking for something that is a self-paced program, this is my great Reset Your Gut and Renew Your Health. It's a complete detox program for digestive harmony. This program is a self-paced program, and it starts on 4/13. You can use the code DETOX25 to save 25% off, and there's the link to register there. I'll also show you how to find that. I'll put it in the chat for you as well. If you're interested, just let me know. And you can save, 25% off on this program. So in this program, you're going to learn complete digestive detox. I really love working from the perspective of a digestive detox, right? From everything we talked about tonight, from dysbiosis. You're going to have my expert guidance and support throughout the program, a personalized plan for your optimal digestive health, and an ongoing support and community, right? That's what it's all about. So here it says more in detail, right? My program offers a complete detox for your digestive health system, helping you to remove toxins, right? Those 4 R's, and reset your gut for optimal health and guidance. You're going to have a personalized plan, ongoing support from me, and don't let your digestive issues hold you back, right? What's that component? How can I help you live your best life? That's what it's about today. So there's 3 amazing offers. This program starts on the 13th, and so does the other one. You can schedule your initial consultation right away. Remember, you have to do this within the next 48 hours. All these offers are only valid then. So let me know how I can help guide you. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me. You can, I will put that in the chat too. Let's see. I'm going to show you where you can find those programs as well. Here is Dr. Lulu. Oops. Putting it in the chat here. Dr. Lulu Shimmick at EOCLULE.com. Right, so you can email me there if you have any follow-up questions about tonight. You can always message me on Instagram as well. And then I'm going to show you these programs, how to find them and access them really easily. Okay, so on the website, I want to take you to the website. Okay, let's share the screen. Okay, if you go to the website, which is doclule.com, and if you haven't been to my website, it's amazing. I love it. So I have great sources of information for you. So if you go to programs, women's wellness, it's right here, Hormone Harmony. And there's also some other there's lots of educational throughout my whole website. There's free educational webinars for you to listen to. So here's more about the program. And if you select learn more, it's going to take you all through the different aspects of the Hormone Harmony program, and you can learn more about me here, and you can just do register now, and it'll take you straight to the registration process. And then remember, you can put in your the code, and you'll save $100 off on the program. And then just to take you back to that, the web, you can see here, I'm going to copy this for you. Here is the link to register for that now. There you go. And then if you go to here, okay, let's go to the program. Here's the Reset Your Gut and Renew Your Health, a complete detox program for the digestive harmony. This one is a self-paced one. Oops. Let me share that in a better way here for you. Okay, Okay, go. All right, so this one, and that link is here. Okay, great. I'm gonna put that in the chat. So there's this one. This is the one I talked about, the third one, the digestive program, and that one is Digest 25, and that you'll not sorry, that one is detox. That's detox 25, and then to make an appointment with me, become a patient. You're just going to go to my website and click that little button at the top there. So that was become a patient, and you'll fill out the application here. We'll set you up and we'll, there's the link there. You can click that. You'll fill out the new application, and we'll send you can use the code for booking your first visit for 25% off. So those are the 3 ways you can get started tonight for elevating your digestive health and balancing your hormones. So exciting. Okay, I think, let's see if there was any other slides as we're finishing up here. Okay, so we talked about, awesome. Oops, of course, it goes out at the beginning. I don't want it to do that, but there it goes. Okay, we'll share it this way. All right. I will get to that last slide. There we go. Okay, there we go. Also, another way is if you just want to see if we're in alignment to working with each other, you can also schedule a free 15-minute discovery call. And that I can also put in that link in the chat for everyone here. I'll do that real quick as well. Okay, and that is a great way to really see if we're in alignment to working together, how I can best help you, right? There's no reason for you to start working on a journey as a patient with me in more extensive circumstances if you're not ready. That's why some of the programs are a great jumpstart. But okay, there's the link for the free 15-minute consult. Okay, and then of course you can look in my website for all kinds of more information. There is my email. You can email me there, and make sure you're following me on Instagram. I always am posting wonderful tips, recipes, free webinars, and all kinds of great stuff. Okay, that wraps up our webinar for this evening. And just as a short disclaimer, anything that I talked about today is not intended to diagnose or treat. It's just expert information drawing on my background, training, and skills. Okay. Woohoo, we did it. We talked through a lot of stuff. Let's see. There's a couple questions here. All right. Let's see what I'm gonna go back and okay. Do you ever endorse using the GAPS intro diet for gut health? Yes, Gretchen, I wouldn't start there. I'd first start with gut testing. And if you already done that, then you could jump right into the GAPS intro diet as a way to, but if you're wondering, what's going on first, I would recommend doing some gut testing, or doing, do you want to find out if there's gut dysbiosis happening? And then doing those 4 R's that I talked about, right? But the GAPS diet can be a great piece for that nutritional component, but you want to address all the other pieces, the clearing out the dysbiosis, right? What's the stress level at, etc. I hope that answers your question. Okay, and then okay, another question here. And Andy Joe said, I take probiotics that need to be refrigerated, and I'm traveling tonight by airplane. How long can they be out of the fridge? Okay, so it's okay if they're out of the fridge for a short amount of time. I wouldn't recommend more than 48 hours. What I do when I travel with my probiotics, especially on the plane, is I take one of those ice packs. They're fine to take through security. They're just solid, right? So they're not a liquid, and I just put them straight next to my refrigerated supplements, because I have things like liposomes. So put it next to that and put it in your bag, and there's never a problem. You can always put it in your suitcase if you're worried about it too. But yeah, I recommend traveling with a little ice pack. And if that's not something that you can do, then try to get them in the fridge within 48 hours. Or you can just take what you need, like, say you're going to be gone for a week, take those 7 probiotics and put them in a small bag and take them with you. They'll still be okay. But don't take the whole bottle, right? Okay. Okay, ice pack, not an option. Okay, yeah. So if it's not an option, then just take out what you need, put them in a small container, in your suitcase or carry-on, and then just do your best, right? Don't put them in heat. Don't put them in where they're going to get hot. Try to keep them as cool as possible. Okay, Gretchen, SIBO positive. Okay, so if you're SIBO positive, yes, the GAPS is a great way to jump in, but you want to make sure you're addressing the other components, like we mentioned tonight, really working with the 4Rs. So if you're not doing a 4R protocol, that's a great place to work with me, Gretchen, about really addressing all those pieces, right? Are you moving the bad bacteria out, really killing that bad bacteria? Are you repopulating, restoring the gut? We want to make sure that we're doing those at specific intervals in healing to allow the body to really, we don't want to get, do too much all at once. We don't want to give the good bacteria to the gut when we're killing the bad bacteria, right? Does that make sense, Gretchen? So yes, SIBO positive. Yeah. And if for SIBO, it depends on, if you spend a long time since you tested, you might want to test again, right? I don't know how long it's been since you tested. If it's a recent diagnosis, make sure you're getting in there and working either with the current 2 months. Okay. Yeah. So if you've been doing healing in that department already, or if you haven't been, I work with a lot of patients with digestive health. As you can see, I'm an expert in that area and I can help with that. But making sure that you're really working with the 4R program there and really removing that bad bacteria, killing off the bad bacteria, especially with SIBO, because you have that overgrowth, right? So you want to make sure you're killing the bad bacteria and then repopulating with good bacteria. Yeah, and just reach out to me if you need more help. I'm here to help and support you. Okay. Any other question this evening? How was that? Did everybody enjoy the webinar? Lots of great information for you. Did you like the meditation? Any feedback? Okay. I also will be sending out the handout that goes along with this webinar. Oh, great. Thanks, Gretchen. I'm glad you liked the meditation. A little break from your last minute packing. Yes, it's good that you had a break. Yes, good. So the team will send out everything, this recap. You'll have this recording. We'll send out the handouts and all the links again for you to register for the programs. And remember, those links, those discounts are only good for 48 hours. So you want to jump on those. Okay. Thanks everyone for attending tonight. I'm so glad that you attended. And I also have a great free webinar at the end of the month, April 26th. And I have 2 in-person webinars happening, one in May and one in June. And so make sure to sign up for those. Okay. Thanks again, everyone, for attending tonight. And I look forward to seeing you at the next webinar and programs in the future. Okay. Good night, everyone.